We're just coming off the heels of Halloween, and many kids, and dare I say adults, are enjoying their hauls of candy and chocolate from last night. But we all know sugar can be harmful for your pearly whites. Joining us now to discuss some of the best ways to keep your smile healthy is Dr. Hasti Sarabi from the Brooklyn Dental Centre. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so the Canadian Dental Association has just come out with some tips for the kiddos enjoying candy this season. What are your recommendations to parents?
Oh, well, it's such an exciting time for kids. And yeah, I mean, they're going to eat the candy, and let's face it, so are we. But there's some easy things you can do to decrease the chances of getting cavities. Like one is just avoiding very sticky candies like caramel, toffee, things that kind of get stuck in between the teeth. And even chips, believe it or not,
Oh
which don't have a
no.
lot of sugar. I know, I love chips. But they get stuck in the teeth and they have a lot of carbohydrates. And your saliva actually breaks down carbs into simple sugars. And so who knew? But chips are not a good one either.
Okay, well, speaking of
What
candy
makes
and
this
some of the many treats that kids are currently sorting through, and might I add, so are we in the newsroom because a lot of the people we work with brought in some of the goodies. So are there certain types of candies or chocolates that are worse for your teeth than others? What should we be reaching for?
Yeah, so the ones I mentioned are the bad ones, the sticky ones, but some of the better ones, and you might be happy to hear this if you're a chocolate fan,
Oh
but things
yes.
like, yes, chocolate. Chocolate actually dissolves pretty fast, and even like powdered candy, full of sugar, but again, it dissolves very fast, so it's not stuck on the teeth for long periods of time. And then just another really easy, quick trick is just to always have water around and just sip water and kind of like rinse your mouth after having a sweet treat.
I was going to ask you if there's any specific type of care that you can take if you are consuming more of these sweets. You had mentioned uh, water. What about brushing or flossing, increasing those? Is that necessary?
Actually, surprisingly, sometimes you don't want to brush right after eating something sweet because a lot of these candies are acidic and
Okay.
acid actually weakens the enamel. And so, right after you have an acid attack, you don't necessarily want to then go and mechanically brush the teeth. So, you just want to make sure you're doing your
is it
regular,
possible?
brushing morning and night, flossing or using the water pick, and just having good oral hygiene. And then just decreasing frequency and duration of sugar intake and lots of water.
And I'm curious too, with there being so many sweets given out this time of year, do you see more people with cavities coming into your office?
That's a good question. Generally, like, I don't know that I noticed the spike right after Halloween because cavities are like a slow process. They take time. But I certainly think a lot of the cavities we see in kids and even in adults, maybe months later, is a result of, the sugar during Halloween and then over the holidays too. We tend to eat a lot of sweets, and then I think a lot of the cavities just build up, and over the year you see it, but it's not immediate.
And is there like a certain limit out? Parents have kids, they get all the candies and treats out. Is there a certain limits or kind of a line you draw as to how much we should be consuming? Because these are great tips, not only for kids, for adults too.
Absolutely. One really good tip, and I think it applies for us adults too, is to like kind of time when you're having the candy. Maybe limit it to dessert after dinner when you're less hungry, when you're less likely to eat a lot of it. And yeah, like just really limit when you're doing it. And after dinner is probably the best time.
Okay, amazing. So you're saying you can have your fun, just be responsible with it.
Exactly, of course. Everything in moderation.
Okay, Dr. Sarabi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. That's Dr. Hasti Sarabi from the Brooklyn Dental Centre. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. It was a pleasure.